Coming up, what we learnt from pre-season testing day 3, our predictions for Bahrain and beyond, drain cover drama, and Fernando Alonso isn't overly optimistic about the season ahead. Let's get into this episode.
If he continues this way, he's going to be one of the greats.
Today he saw something amazing.
This is Formula One. This is the sport we love.
Welcome to F1 Briefings in partnership with Sports Illustrated. Let's get into it right now. What are your top 10 predictions? We're not going to go drivers. That's a little too granular. We're going to go teams, constructors' championships. Bear in mind, we've only seen practice, and practice, as we've learnt, means nothing. Let's get into it. First of all, let's do the top 3. We're going to do top 3. Then we're going to do the middle 4, because it's like the fight for, you know, the middle guys, the midfield guys, and then the fight to not come last, the bottom 3. Let's get into it.
Okay, I definitely think our top 3 is going to be exactly the same as each other, but Red Bull top,
Yep.
obviously. Ferrari second.
Yep.
McLaren.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Pre-season testing showed us that Red Bull, I mean, we all saw him smiling. The Red Bull looks insanely easy.
It's actually every single member of Red Bull, whenever they're on camera, they are absolutely beaming.
Yeah, it's like a horror, right? It's like a horror film. Like they are smiling
smile,
too
or
much.
whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They are smiling too much. The car looks easy to drive. They, you know, Perez had a few issues yesterday, but today, I mean, the car looked like it was on rails.
Yeah.
And I know Ferrari, I know Leclerc got the fastest time, but wow, that, you know, obviously there's a level of sandbagging going on, but the Red Bull just looked like
They don't seem
oiled.
concerned whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that was an easy top.
Yeah. Now let's do the midfield. Go on.
See, I'm reluctant to call it the midfield, but all right. 4th, Mercedes.
Okay, I actually put Aston Martin.
5th, Aston Martin. 6th, RB, VCARB, whatever you want to call them. 7, Williams.
Interesting.
Ooh,
Okay, we haven't
okay.
got the same here. So my middle 4, Aston Martin. I think they're going to be faster than Mercedes, which I've put 5th. Then followed by RB, and then followed by Alpine.
I did think when I was doing mine, maybe I'm being a bit mean on Alpine. But they just really do seem to be struggling. They just don't seem happy at all, really.
No, they don't seem happy. The drivers don't. I was trying to watch their faces as they got in and out of the car. They don't seem overly
Hard
smiley.
with a helmet on.
Yeah, but like you can see, you know, when they're talking in the back of the pits,
Yeah.
they don't look overly enthusiastic. Aston Martin, I thought they looked a bit better than Mercedes. Mercedes, they were trying quite a few different things. Today, they put on a new front suspension, like way more anti-dive than the last
Yeah.
suspension. And I feel like, yes, they've found a balanced car, because that's something they've really been struggling with. But I feel like they haven't quite got the performance. Like, both drivers don't look overly smiley again. George was saying that, like, yes, it feels... Oh, no, was it Hamilton that said it feels better, but let's just...
Steady on.
Yeah, let's think about this before we start giving some serious ideas. RB, I thought they were pretty good.
They were pretty good.
I think they may be one to watch, to be honest, because they're not like they have not taken on many of Red Bull's kind of aerodynamics. Their aerodynamic principles seem quite different,
Yeah, I agree.
which is a surprise because they're sharing as much as possible. Alpine, I think they're kind of silently average. I think they're going to be averagely solid. Because they've got good drivers.
They do. Yeah, there's nothing against them. Calm down. Don't get offended.
I'm not offended at all.
But I just think that Williams... I don't know. I think, to be honest, all of those kind of 4 or 5 are going to be very, very close. But I just think Williams will have improved again on last year.
Okay, let's go bottom 3.
Well, okay, Alpine was my 8th. Sauber, Haas.
Okay, so mine was Sauber, Williams, Haas. Let's start with Haas. They're obviously going to struggle, aren't they? They're obviously going to struggle because they still haven't got funding.
Yeah.
They're in this kind of evolution stage. AO is taking over. His vision is not going to be seen until at least 6 months. Like, he told me that he was working on getting these changes done before the end of the year.
Yeah, because he said in the interview with you that their aim is P8.
Yeah, I can't see that happening.
And I just think the rate that the other teams are improving and developing and putting the money into it, it's going to be very difficult for that to happen.
Yes.
When AlphaTauri last year, so I can still call it that, were...
Minardi. You mean Minardi?
Toro Rosso were kind of, for the first half of the season anyway, they were with Haas a lot of the time. They were both teams were struggling to get points, but they've obviously made a huge jump up this season, so they're not going to be around. Zhou Guan Yu, at the end there today, put in a cheeky, what was it, third?
He came third on the timesheet, and that just shows how useless these testing sessions are.
But look, this is all we have right now, so let me get excited.
I know. So the reason I put Williams 9th.
I'm very, very shocked by that.
I was thinking Williams would be way higher, but if you look at Sauber, they have kind of, if you really look at their car, they look so similar to an RB19, and I just think they've made more development. They've pushed the development. They've taken the easy route. They've taken on the concepts of the RB19. Obviously, we don't know what's happening under the car, but I think they're going to kind of surprise us a little bit.
Well, I really thought we were going to put the same top 10.
So did I. I thought we were solid there.
I think the argument might actually continue.
Yeah, watch this space, everyone. I'm going to lose my job. Now, someone who may actually lose their jobs, though, is unfortunately the people running the track and kind of maintaining the track. We've had flashbacks to Las Vegas, haven't we? So let's talk about what happened first of all. Yesterday, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, they were already showing their partnership. Their partnership was in the making because they helped each other destroy the track. Now, these cars are going around extremely quickly. They're producing so much suction that it actually removed, just like Vegas, it removed a drain cover on the you can see from the image, they removed a drain cover on the turn 11. On turn 11, the not the exit, the opposite to the exit, the entry. Oh my God, it's been such a long day. And this really actually damaged the underfloor of the Ferrari. It was in the morning session that was cancelled. We had a longer afternoon session to make up for that. And then we thought it was okay because they stamped it a bit and they, poked it and it all looked good. They were kind of looking at it going, and it was fine until today. Sergio Perez went over it and the same thing happened. And this time it didn't damage the car, but obviously they had to get in and repair it. And, well, it was red flagged and we didn't get a lunch break because of that.
I know.
We didn't get a lunch break. It was, like I said, it's been a very, very long day. Adrian Newey did have a closer look at the RB20. It wasn't damaged. But what have people said about this?
I mean, so Newey was fairly quick to respond to it. He has taken the opportunity to say that it's because the current regulation cars are too big and too heavy, and that's why it keeps happening. It's... you'd usually expect to see this sort of thing on a street circuit, like Las Vegas. We don't want to dwell on that too much. But
why is it always Ferrari?
I know.
It's always Ferrari.
And then it happens to other people, but they manage, luckily for them, that it didn't rip the floor of the car, but it did for Leclerc yesterday, but not anything to the extent of Vegas.
5-place grid penalty for Leclerc,
Oh, stop it.
Sorry, mate.
Could you imagine a carnage? That would be absolute carnage. But yeah, several of the drivers have been complaining throughout this regulation of cars, really just saying that they are so big and so heavy. I think George Russell at one point said it was like driving a double-decker bus, which I don't know if he's had experience in that and whether he can actually compare the two or not.
He's far too tall to get onto a double-decker bus. He can't.
He'd take up both layers.
Yeah. We talked to Alex Albon last season, and even like it was in Miami. It was after the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and even then he was like, "These regulations aren't working, guys."
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now all the drain covers keep popping up, so it's all been going on.
It's all been popping up. What are they doing about this? This hasn't been confirmed, but it was actually Autosport that has reported that they're going to cement the drain covers in. Now, usually this is they're welded in, but as it's incredibly dry in Bahrain, despite the rain, about a week ago, it was really bad rain. Never before seen amounts of rain in Bahrain. In Bahrain, that rhymed.
I knew that was going to catch you out.
So it's going to dry apparently, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Cement is heavy. And they're also thinking of changing the track limits. So on that entry, especially to turn 11, maybe they're not going to go as wide to extend that corner as much as possible. They're not going to take the F1 2023 line, which I love. Bahrain's the best for that. Get all the way onto the outside, get almost over that white line, and then extend that curve as much as possible. They're maybe not going to be able to do that. It was interesting. Lewis Hamilton actually took an F1 2023 line. It was the meme where you got the actor.
Are you talking about Matthew McConaughey?
No. He
loves
loves young women, and he's quite old.
Oh, Alex. Leonardo DiCaprio.
He's...
That's Matthew McConaughey.
It's not,
isn't it?
Nope.
In Wolf of Wall Street.
No. He does whistle in Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, okay. We're talking about two
it's
different
the
things.
Hollywood, a dream in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He does that, I think.
Oh, right.
Yep. So yeah, look, cars are getting heavy. We've heard Adrian Newey, the man to talk to on the new regs. He knows them inside and out. Even he says they're getting too heavy, getting pretty quick, and the tracks just can't keep up. Does this then give us the question of, are the cars... It's not a performance issue because these cars have been faster in the past, but they are really heavy now. Do the track owners, the people who maintain these tracks, need to kind of think, okay, they need to be stronger? How much stronger can they be? Or do we just need to add more grass? Natural drainage of water, because obviously drainage is an issue. Add more grass. There used to be more grass. I miss grass. Yeah,
that's the simple answer, really. I would have thought. I mean, clearly something needs to be done because it's not just street circuits anymore that this is happening to. Also, with the new regulations coming in 2026, I do believe that the size and weight of the cars is going to be addressed in that.
Just purely the width, hopefully. The width is being addressed, thank goodness. But
something clearly needs to be done. So, but as it stands right now, with the changes that they're going to be making, reportedly for next week, it could mean that it's even more exciting with track limits.
Well, the issue is with track limits, it takes away that,
it's
like Anthony Davidson was saying,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's drama, and you get constant radio messages of, Lewis Hamilton's got over, Max has gone over, Fernando. Everyone goes over. Yeah. Apparently, according to the driver behind.
I mean, Ocon's going to need to watch.
Ocon is ruined. Ocon is ruined. Poor guy. He's going to
set his own record again.
Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Alpine's got to do something this season. When you remove that, though, when you've got the track limits that we all loved so much last season, it does remove that. The freedom of a driver that they can take their own line, they can be creative with it, they can kind of embrace their own driving style a bit more when you're maintained within those track limits. To what I expect this may be turned into, it's going to be a little more like the cars. They've got a defined way of going around the circuit. They've got It's also it can be quite frustrating for
the teams and drivers, but also fans. Like if you think about Austria last year, they finished the race, they did their podium celebrations.
Half an hour,
there was
3 hours later,
so many
Yeah.
infringements that needed to be looked at that it wasn't till like a few hours later that they were able to actually confirm the finishing lineup.
It was so bad that it was only on the next race that, you know, like Sky Sports F1, their coverage, they had to go back and be like, so basically what we saw last race, that wasn't quite how it ended. So they had to explain themselves.
There's definitely a, for want of a better word, limit. there needs to be it's a fine line. Again, it's the same thing. I can't stop.
Is it a white line? Horrible. Before we go into this too much more and just want to kill ourselves, Fernando Alonso, he usually is quite an optimistic guy. You know, he joined Aston Martin and he was smiley. He got like physically fit. Like his face was like sculpted, more sculpted. It's very annoying. He's a beautiful, beautiful man. This season, he's not feeling so optimistic. Look, we've seen pre-season testing, and I know, you know, usual caveats. We don't know how fast these cars are going to be. We've got a Sauber in P3. It's not going to be that way. But Alonso's pretty sure that 19 of the 20 drivers know this year they're not going to be world champion. Usually, you know, Aston Martin last year started really well. They went from like P7 to what was looking like P2 on the Constructors' Championship. And that ran for a good long time until they messed up with an upgrade and they went back a bit. And then by that point, McLaren had gone forward, Mercedes had gone forward, Ferrari had gone forward. And at the end of last season, they were kind of thinking, okay, what do we do? What direction do we go in with the car? Because they had lost a big chunk of time not really knowing what had gone wrong. So they would go into this season and they look kind of neutral because last season was such a big jump for them. We're all quite excited and looked amazing that, you know, the jump they'd made. And this season, they're not quite that headline. The juxtaposition is huge. And you can see this in Alonso's mannerisms and what he's saying. This is what he said. I don't have a crystal ball to know what the others are doing. I think Max is the world championship and Red Bull is dominating the sport. Also, the concept that they presented this year, it's also a surprise. At the moment, we just have to watch them and see how they perform. I think 19 drivers in the paddock now will think that they will not win the championship. It happens 99% of the time in your career. This is a brutal sport. That is a damning quote from Fernando.
And unfortunately, everything that Max and Red Bull, all the information that's coming from them so far is only backing that up. I think Max in the press conference afterwards, one, I don't think I've ever seen him smile bigger. Two, he said, the car does everything I want. I mean...
And he wants to win.
So what more could you
that's
say?
That's it. Championship's finished. Yeah, go home, everyone.
Stop it.
No, I do think...
Don't do us out of a job.
I do. Yeah. No, Bahrain, Red Bull is going to win. I bet anything on that. Red Bull is going to win. They are just simply too far ahead.
Yeah.
And then, I know, again, pre-season testing caveats, but Verstappen goes and whacks a lap in that is basically an hour ahead of anyone else, day one. Day two, like we said, Sergio Perez has a few issues. Honestly, guys, you on Twitter, oh my God, savage against Mr. Perez.
Yeah.
Wow. It's the sandbagging.
It's a scary place to be, Twitter.
Yeah, it is a scary place to be. I found that out. The third day, Verstappen is still really, really quick. And it's not just the lap times. It just looks so easy. And, you know, Red Bull was so far ahead last season that I don't think other teams will develop that fast. They may do later this season. They may catch them. But right now, I think, including Red Bull, a lot of teams have had to make quite drastic aerodynamic changes. But it's Adrian Newey and his team, isn't it? You know, they are so good at what they do. Adrian is very confident that the moves they've made have pushed the RB20 so much further forward in the development race that they will not be caught. I think we've got another world champion on our hands.
That is the thing, though. It is a very, very long season. And
a record-breakingly long season.
We've seen that one wrong upgrade can change things significantly. And there are 24 races.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you never know what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a tall order for someone to beat Red Bull.
Yes.
But things change within a season. And when it's such a long season, there is probably more of a chance of that potentially happening.
Definitely. I talked to Johnny Herbert a couple of days ago and I asked him, does he think the developments that Red Bull have brought in, does he think that's a brave move? And he said, well, kinda, if it goes wrong, because it's such a stark difference. Kinda. So look, it may all go wrong. It likely won't. But look, we saw yesterday. We saw the guys racing towards the end of the day, and it was just
so
brilliant. I was cheering because finally, like, you know, it was like, oh yeah, these guys they can move pretty quickly when they want to. So look, let's look forward to a really exciting season. Let's hold back any assumptions right now, apart from the fact that Max is going to win. And let's just go in and enjoy it. The fight for second, guys, is exciting. Like Alonso says there. Look at him. He's a happy, happy man. Let's hope for some more podiums. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please go that way and like it. And subscribe while you're there. Leave a comment. Let me know your top 10. Let us know your top 10. Very interested to see what you think. I think there's going to be a big jumble of teams. I think it's going to be interesting. If you want to know when we upload a video at that time, what can they do?
I believe it's called a notification bell.
You can ring it. Go and ring it. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.